this whole idea of the R2C accelerator, how did it come by? Where did it come from?
Well, when I joined KeNIA, and that was the 1st of September 2020, I had an opportunity to talk to the board members, and they said some of the things I wanted to do. One of them was to strengthen capacity around IP exploitation. And so they said, great. And then when I organized the first training, some board members called me and said, we want to attend. And then I asked, are you attending because you want to understand, or you just want to see where things will go and things like that? They said, no, we want to understand. And then I go like, no, I thought you were board members. That means you were supposed to guide this agenda. And I could see a vacuum right there, a gap right there. I said, okay, fine, you come in. And then, of course, after that training, they said, this is really transformative. And then I go like, so how are you going to oversight this institution?
I think Tony assembled a team to support him in terms of advisory at the Kenya National Innovation Agency. And he invited me to be one of those people. I remember we used to meet at 7 o'clock, I think on Fridays, consistently, just mooting different topics that, about the strategy that had been put into place. One of the things that always surprised me is that Kenya is always touted as one of the leaders in terms of funding for early stage companies. But if you ask where that funding goes, most of it goes to technology ventures, so to say. But if you ask yourself how much goes to research-based ventures from our universities, it's not as much. So for me, I had this idea that, when I sort of like listened and the support that you're offering, how can we take the successes which I was part of on the technology side, on that side, and try to replicate that on the research commercialization side. And as they say, ignorance is bliss, because you don't see all the challenges that come along that way. And so that's how we sort of like met, and sort of like the journey started from that point. But some work had been done previously, then we just sort of like built on top of that.
Looking back at your journey as a researcher and now as a startup founder, what was the hardest shift you had to make when you're moving from academic research to commercialization?
I've been a guy who is either in class, in the lab, or doing publications. That has been largely my life. I did one patent with my professor in 2002, and that was the end of the story. Fast forward R2C 2 years ago when I joined. I think the first thing that I had to change was that I moved from being too much in the lab, less focus in publications, and doing more in the innovation line.
The thing that has been very difficult to move was, first of all, not only the finances or anything else, but the mindset change from academic point of view. How we view what we do, and the ability to monetize the same.
By the way, ZTech is known for hackathons. Our students do very well in robotics. They've been to Panama, they've been to Senegal, almost everywhere in the world. And they come back and they win, but we've been asking, how do we ensure that whatever they are coming up with does not get lost? But through R2C, we have come to understand the innovation and the entrepreneurship ecosystem. We have come to understand that you cannot work in isolation, you cannot be a silo. We have come to understand that you can make as many innovations and you can win as many hackathons, but so long as you're not moving to the market, I think it's not very, very useful.
I would wish that if we can have more funding to this so that we can have more participate. I'm sure it was just a small context, small numbers that have been impacted. If there are funding agencies somewhere, please, this is where to put the money, and this is how to self-sustain our institutions.
Tonight, as we celebrate the close of this phase of research to commercialization program, I'm not here to deliver eulogy. Yes, I am not here to say, yeah, now that is finished, let's bury it and move on. But I am here to deliver prologue. In other words, we are just starting. because I see this not as an end in itself, but a graduation. In the language of the university, this is a graduation. It's basically just a transition from one to another. The work you have done has prepared a new generation of institutions and innovators for the next stage of their journey. And so my invitation to you then is clear.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Very well, very well, very well. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, very well, very well, very well. Let's continue clapping, until so we can all give a jiggle.